Teen Mom 2, Alum sentenced to years in jail. Before her rise to fame on Teen Mom 2, the Alum led a relatively normal life, growing up in a small town with dreams like any other teenager. Born into a close-knit family, she was known for her vibrant personality and strong will. However, her life took an unexpected turn when she became pregnant as a teenager, a moment that would define much of her public journey. When Teen Mom 2 premiered in 2011, she quickly became one of the show's most talked-about cast members, capturing audiences with her raw honesty and emotional struggles. Alongside co-stars such as Janelle Evans and Chelsea Houska, she navigated the complexities of motherhood, relationships, and personal growth under the spotlight. Throughout her time on the reality series, she faced numerous challenges, from financial hardships to tumultuous relationships, all while raising her child in front of millions. Despite the difficulties, she remained a central figure on the show, often sparking both admiration and controversy among viewers. Her resilience and candidness resonated with many fans, making her a household name. Over the years, she continued to be involved in various spin-offs and follow-up projects, keeping her in the public eye long after her initial stint on Teen Mom 2. However, as her television career progressed, so did the scrutiny surrounding her personal decisions, leading to a series of legal troubles that would eventually culminate in a devastating sentence. As her time on Teen Mom 2 progressed, the Alum found herself increasingly entangled in legal issues that began to overshadow her television career. One of the earliest incidents occurred in 2016 when she was arrested for driving under the influence in North Carolina. This marked the beginning of a troubling pattern of behavior that would plague her in the years to come. In 2019, she was once again charged with another DUI, this time involving her minor child in the vehicle. The case drew widespread media attention, with critics condemning her reckless actions and questioning her fitness as a parent. Authorities cited concerns about child endangerment, further fueling public outrage. In addition to her repeated DUI offenses, she faced multiple charges related to drug possession. In 2020, law enforcement officers executed a search warrant at her home, uncovering illegal substances, including methamphetamine. The discovery led to felony drug charges, intensifying the scrutiny surrounding her lifestyle choices. Prosecutors argued that her continued substance abuse not only violated the law, but also posed a direct threat to her children's well-being. Child custody battles soon followed, with social services intervening to assess whether she was capable of providing a stable environment for her kids. Despite these mounting legal troubles, she attempted to portray herself as someone striving for rehabilitation. In interviews and social media posts, she frequently spoke about seeking therapy, attending support groups, and attempting to make positive changes in her life. However, recurring violations of probation and court orders undermined these claims, painting a picture of someone struggling to break free from destructive patterns. As the legal consequences escalated, it became increasingly evident that her actions were not just a matter of poor judgment, but rather a deeper issue requiring more intensive intervention than what had been previously pursued. The incident that ultimately led to the Alum sentencing occurred in early 2023, marking a turning point in her already troubled legal history. On the night of February 14, authorities responded to a domestic disturbance call at her residence in North Carolina. Upon arrival, officers found her engaged in a heated argument with her then-boyfriend, which quickly escalated into physical confrontation. Witnesses reported seeing the Alum allegedly assault her partner, striking him multiple times and causing visible injuries. During the altercation, law enforcement discovered that she was in possession of illegal narcotics, later confirmed to be methamphetamine and Xanax without a valid prescription. What began as a standard domestic dispute investigation soon uncovered more severe charges. While executing a search warrant at her home, police discovered additional quantities of controlled substances, along with drug paraphernalia. More alarmingly, they found firearms stored in an unsafe manner within reach of her children. These findings led to enhanced criminal charges, including possession of a Schedule I controlled substance possession of drug paraphernalia, and improper storage of firearms in the presence of minors. Given her prior convictions, prosecutors pushed for maximum penalties, arguing that her repeated offenses demonstrated a blatant disregard for the law and the safety of those around her. The case quickly gained national attention, with media outlets dissecting every detail. Fans of Teen Mom 2 expressed shock over the severity of the situation, while critics saw it as the inevitable consequence of years of unchecked behavior. Court documents reveal that social services had previously raised concerns about her parenting capabilities, citing past incidents where her children had been exposed to dangerous environments. With this new evidence, the prosecution built a compelling case against her, setting the stage for a high-stakes trial that would determine the trajectory of her future. The Alum's trial unfolded as a highly publicized legal battle, drawing significant media attention and sparking intense debates among fans and critics alike. Prosecutors presented a compelling case, emphasizing her repeated criminal offenses and the dangers her actions posed to both her children and the broader community. Key evidence included body cam footage from responding officers during the domestic disturbance call, showing visible signs of aggression and intoxication. Additionally, forensic reports confirmed the presence of methamphetamine and other controlled substances in her system at the time of arrest, reinforcing the prosecution's argument that she had been operating under the influence of illegal drugs during the altercation. The defense team, however, sought to paint a different picture, arguing that their client was a victim of circumstance and battling deep-rooted personal struggles. They highlighted her history of trauma, including childhood abuse and ongoing mental health issues, suggesting that these factors contributed to her erratic behavior. Testimonies from therapists and addiction specialists were introduced to support this claim, with experts testifying that she had been actively seeking treatment for substance abuse and emotional instability. Defense attorneys also pointed to her efforts to maintain sobriety through rehabilitation programs, though they acknowledged that relapses had hindered her progress. Throughout the proceedings, the courtroom was filled with dramatic moments, including emotional outbursts from the defendant and heated exchanges between legal representatives. Family members and former castmates testified on her behalf, describing her as a loving mother who had made mistakes but still deserved a second chance. Meanwhile, opposing witnesses, including former partners and law enforcement officials, provided testimonies that painted a starkly different image, depicting a woman unable or unwilling to break free from self-destructive tendencies. Public reaction to the trial was divided, with some expressing sympathy for her struggles, while others condemned her repeated failures to take responsibility for her actions. Social media became a battleground for opinionated commentary, with hashtags like "Justice for Her Children" and "She needs help" trending during key moments of the trial. Ultimately, the judge emphasized the need for accountability, noting that despite her personal challenges, her actions had placed vulnerable individuals at risk. With the trial concluding, all eyes turned to the impending sentencing, which would determine the extent of the consequences she would face. On April 5, 2023, the Alum stood before the judge as the final verdict was delivered. She was sentenced to 5 years in prison for her crimes, including charges of assault, possession of controlled substances, and improper firearm storage in the presence of minors. The judge made it clear that the decision was based not only on the severity of her offenses, but also on her extensive criminal history, which included previous DUIs, probation violations, and prior drug-related charges. "This is not just about punishing the defendant," the judge stated during the sentencing hearing. "It is about protecting the community and ensuring the safety of her children, who have been repeatedly exposed to dangerous circumstances." Upon hearing the sentence, the Alum reacted with visible distress, breaking down in tears as law enforcement officers escorted her out of the courtroom. Her family members, seated in the audience, were seen embracing each other in disbelief, while some supporters expressed disappointment in what they viewed as an overly harsh punishment. Outside the courthouse, news crews captured emotional reactions from both sides of the debates, some arguing that the sentence was necessary to hold her accountable, while others insisted that rehabilitation should have been prioritized over incarceration. Legal experts weighed in on the ruling, noting that while 5 years was a significant sentence, it fell within the expected range given her prior record and the nature of the charges.